Welcome back to Hidden US Coins. I've invited you here today for one reason, to reveal three ordinary-looking US coins that could shock you with their incredible value. These are hidden treasures, silent fortunes, and serious money hiding in plain sight. Do not spend these coins. Check your collection now, because the 1952D wheat penny, 1965 Jefferson nickel, and 1972D Washington quarter could be far more valuable than you ever imagined. Stay with me until the end, because these coins are about to change everything.
First up, stop right there. Welcome back to Hidden US Coins. Do not spend these coins. Check your pocket now, because these old coins can hide serious money, silent fortune, and hidden wealth. Today we're hunting the 1952 with D wheat penny. And trust me, what comes next gets bigger, rarer, and even more shocking. Stay till the end, because you could be holding a fortune without even knowing it. Now look closely at this 1952 with D wheat penny. At first glance, it may look like just another old 1-cent coin, but that is exactly what makes this dangerous to ignore. This is the kind of coin people can overlook, toss into a jar, spend at a register, or leave forgotten in a drawer without realizing what they may be holding. But when the right year, mint mark, surviving condition, and original surfaces come together, everything changes. This is not fiction. This is the kind of hidden treasure that makes collectors stop, inspect, and look again. The date is 1952, and that year matters. America was moving through a period of major post-war economic change, with industry, manufacturing, consumer demand, and the cost of living, all shifting as the country adjusted to the pressures of the early 1950s. The Korean War was underway, factories were producing at a powerful pace, and the United States was experiencing an economy where every cent still mattered. Millions of coins were being produced for everyday commerce, but surviving decades later in desirable original condition is an entirely different story. And now turn your attention to the front. You have the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln facing right, with the word Liberty beside him and the date 1952 below. Above Lincoln is In God We Trust, completing the classic obverse design that millions of Americans have carried through generations. But there is one tiny detail you absolutely cannot ignore: the mint mark. Look just below the date. That small letter D tells you this coin was struck at the Denver Mint. And when you are examining a potentially valuable 1952 with D wheat penny, that tiny letter deserves your full attention. Never assume that a mint mark is meaningless. On collectible coins, small details can completely change the conversation. Now flip the coin over. The reverse is where the classic wheat penny design takes over. In the center is the powerful 1-cent denomination, surrounded by the familiar wheat ears on both sides. Across the top is United States of America, while E pluribus unum appears above the denomination. At the bottom is the word 1 cent. Those two wheat stalks are one of the most recognizable symbols of America's classic wheat penny era, and they instantly give this coin that unmistakable old coin character. And then there is the physical feel. A genuine 1952 Lincoln wheat cent was made from a bronze composition dominated by copper, giving it that unmistakable warm, substantial feel compared with later zinc-based cents. Its standard weight is about 3.11 grams, its diameter is approximately 19 millimeters, and its thickness is around 1.52 millimeters. That small size can make it easy to overlook, but don't let the size fool you. Sometimes the smallest objects can carry the biggest surprises. This is also where condition becomes critical. The coin you are looking for is described as being in very fine condition, meaning it has experienced circulation and handling but can still retain important design detail. On Lincoln's portrait, look for remaining definition in the hair and facial features. On the reverse, examine the wheat ears and lettering carefully. You are not just looking for an old coin, you are looking for a survivor with enough original detail and character to attract serious collector attention. And please, whatever you do not try to make it look newer. Never clean this coin. That is one of the biggest mistakes a collector can make. Scrubbing, polishing, chemicals, abrasive materials, or aggressive rubbing can permanently damage the original surface. A naturally aged coin can develop attractive original toning and an antique appearance over decades, and collectors may value that originality. Once that surface is stripped or scratched, you cannot simply put it back. So if your 1952 with D wheat penny looks dark, brown, toned, or naturally aged, don't panic. Don't polish it. Don't scrub it. Don't try to make it shine like a brand new coin. Original toning matters, and originality can be far more important than artificial brightness. Now start looking at the tiny details collectors obsess over. Examine the date for clarity. Check the D mint mark beneath it. Study Lincoln's hair and facial details. On the reverse, inspect the wheat ears, lettering, rims, and overall surface. Look for signs of heavy cleaning, unnatural scratches, harsh damage, or anything that could hurt the coin's originality. And here's something important. Patience is golden. If you discover a coin that appears promising, don't rush to sell it to the first person who shows interest. Don't assume a quick online comment or a casual opinion tells you everything. A potentially important coin deserves careful handling and, when appropriate, professional evaluation. Professional grading is critical when serious money is involved because authentication, condition assessment, and preservation can dramatically affect how collectors view a coin. And this is where the market becomes fascinating. Serious collectors don't always announce themselves. Sometimes the strongest demand happens quietly. A desirable coin appears, collectors begin watching it, and suddenly the bidding becomes aggressive. One person wants it. Another refuses to let it go. Another bidder enters. The price climbs. And when genuinely scarce examples are locked away in collections, the available supply becomes even tighter. Collectors often hold coins like this rather than immediately selling them. Because once a desirable example disappears into a collection, another comparable piece may not appear for a long time. Demand can rise while the supply of attractive surviving examples shrinks. That tension is exactly what can create those dramatic auction moments where collectors fight for the opportunity to own one. And now comes the number you've been waiting for. Based on the market value provided for this specific coin, this 1952 with D wheat penny in very fine condition is valued at $210,000. Yes, $210,000. That is why I keep telling you, do not spend this coin. If you ever encounter a 1952 with D wheat penny, slow down. Look at the date. Look beneath the date for that D, study both sides. Protect the original surfaces. Never clean it. Never scrape it. Never polish it. Keep it safe and consider professional grading if the coin appears to match the characteristics you're looking for. Because hidden treasure doesn't always announce itself. Sometimes it sits silently in an old collection. Sometimes it is forgotten in a drawer. Sometimes it is passed from one person to another without anyone realizing what they have. And sometimes a tiny piece of copper-colored American history can become a life-changing opportunity. This is why you should stay with us. Because the 1952 with D wheat penny is only the beginning. What comes next is even bigger, even rarer, and even more shocking. The next coin has a story that collectors cannot ignore, and one tiny detail could change everything. Don't go anywhere. The next hidden treasure is coming up. Next up, if you thought the last coin was shocking, wait until you see this one. Welcome back to Hidden US Coins. Do not spend this coin. Check your collection right now, because a tiny 5-cent piece can hide serious money. This 1965 Jefferson nickel has no mint mark, and what makes that detail so important could leave you speechless. Stay till the end, because this coin is another hidden treasure that people may be accidentally losing every single day. Take a close look at the 1965 Jefferson nickel. It is only 5 cents on its face, but don't let that number fool you. This is exactly the kind of coin that can disappear into pocket change, old jars, drawers, and forgotten collections while nobody stops to ask the most important question: what exactly am I holding? The year is 1965, and America was going through a major economic transition. The country was dealing with rising pressure on the monetary system, increasing demand for circulating coins, and a serious shortage of silver coins. That pressure led to one of the most important changes in modern U.S. coinage. The Coinage Act of 1965 changed the composition of several U.S. denominations, and the mint was under intense pressure to keep enough coins moving through the economy. But there is another detail here that you absolutely cannot ignore. Look beneath the date. There is no mint mark. And in 1965, that does not automatically mean something is wrong. During this period, mint marks were temporarily removed from circulating U.S. coins as part of an effort to discourage coin collecting and reduce the impact of hoarding during the coin shortage. So a 1965 Jefferson nickel without a mint mark is an expected feature of the period, not automatically an error. That is exactly why you have to know what you're looking at before assuming a missing mint mark is rare by itself. Now turn to the front. There is Thomas Jefferson's famous portrait facing left, with "In God We Trust" along the left side and the date 1965 positioned below the portrait. The design was created by Felix Schlag and had already become one of the most recognizable American coin designs of the 20th century. Now flip it over. The reverse brings you to Monticello, Jefferson's Virginia home, shown prominently in the center. Above it is United States of America, with E pluribus unum above the building and 5 cents below. At the bottom is Monticello. This is the classic Jefferson nickel reverse that generations of Americans have carried without ever imagining that one of these ordinary-looking coins could become a serious collector target. And now feel the coin. A standard 1965 Jefferson nickel weighs approximately 5 grams. Its diameter is about 21.2 millimeters, while its thickness is approximately 1.95 millimeters. The coin is made from a copper-nickel composition with roughly 75% copper and 25% nickel. It has that familiar solid 5-cent feel in your hand, and its size gives it a noticeable presence compared with smaller denominations. But here's where things get interesting. The value isn't simply sitting in the number 1965, and the missing mint mark alone should not make you believe you've discovered a fortune. The real collector story comes from the complete coin, its condition, surfaces, details, originality, and overall desirability. This particular example is described as being in very good condition. That means you should slow down and examine it carefully rather than judging it from a quick glance. Look at Jefferson's hair and facial details. Inspect the date. Examine the lettering. On the reverse, study Monticello itself, the steps, the columns, the surrounding lettering, and the overall sharpness of the design. This detail changes everything. Preservation. A coin can survive for decades and still suffer tremendous damage from careless handling. Scratches, harsh cleaning, polishing, chemical treatment, and artificial attempts to make an old coin shine can destroy the originality that collectors want to see. So if you find a 1965 nickel that looks dark, toned, aged, or naturally worn, don't attack it with a cloth. Do not clean this coin. Don't polish it. Don't scrub it. Original toning matters. Original surfaces matter. The old appearance that formed naturally over decades can tell collectors that the coin has been preserved rather than artificially altered. Once you damage that surface, you cannot simply undo it. And this is where smart collectors slow down. Check the date. Confirm the missing mint mark. Look closely at the entire obverse and reverse. Examine the rims. Study the surface. Look for unusual damage or signs of cleaning. Don't assume that every 1965 nickel without a mint mark is automatically rare, because the absence of a mint mark was normal for this year. The important thing is the complete condition and characteristics of the individual coin. And if something about your coin looks exceptional, patience is golden. Don't rush. Don't spend it. Don't clean it. And don't hand it over to someone simply because they casually claim it's worthless. Professional grading is critical when a coin appears potentially valuable. A qualified professional evaluation can help determine authenticity, condition, surface quality, and collectible significance. When serious money is involved, guessing is not enough. Now imagine the collector side of this. A desirable coin appears. Collectors notice it. Someone wants it for a collection. Another collector wants the same piece. The competition becomes quiet at first, and then suddenly aggressive. Bidding begins. People who have spent years building collections may be willing to pay dramatically more for the right coin because truly attractive examples can become harder to find. And once collectors put desirable coins away, Many never come back to the open market. They sit inside collections. Families inherit them. Boxes are stored away. Coins disappear from circulation. The available supply becomes smaller while collector interest continues. That is the hidden wealth story behind coins like this. Not every 1,965 Jefferson nickel is a fortune. But the right individual coin, with the right condition and collector appeal, deserves attention before you ever decide to spend it. And now, according to the market value provided for this specific coin, its current collector market value is $150,000. $150,000 from a 5-cent coin. That is the kind of number that makes you look at pocket change differently. So if a 1,965 Jefferson nickel without a mint mark crosses your path, stop. Check both sides. Protect the surfaces. Never clean it. Preserve the original toning. Look carefully at these details, and if the coin appears to have exceptional collector potential, consider professional grading. Because this is how hidden treasures get lost. Someone sees 5 cents. Someone else sees history. And a serious collector may see an opportunity worth protecting. Do not spend this coin. Keep your eyes open because the next coin is about to take this hunt to another level. It has a different design, a different story, and another detail that could make collectors stop in their tracks. What comes next is even bigger, rarer, and more dangerous to ignore. Stay right here, because the next hidden treasure could change everything. Next up, now here it is, the final coin in this hunt, and if you've been following hidden US coins, you already know the rule. Do not spend this coin. A 1,972 with D Washington quarter can look completely ordinary, but this is exactly where collectors slow down and start looking for the details everyone else misses. Check your old coins now, because this quarter could represent hidden wealth, a silent fortune, and serious money. Stay till the end, because this final coin is the one you do not want to ignore. Take a close look at the date, 1972. Then look immediately to the right of Washington's hair ribbon. There it is, the small D mint mark, identifying the Denver Mint. That tiny letter is part of the coin's identity, and when you're hunting collectible pieces, tiny details can make all the difference. The year 1972 was a fascinating period in American history. The United States was dealing with inflationary pressure, changing economic conditions, and enormous demand for circulating coinage. The country had already moved away from the traditional silver composition for regular Washington quarters, and the modern copper nickel-clad quarter had become the standard. The mint was producing enormous quantities of coins to keep up with the needs of the American economy. And that makes the survival story interesting. The Denver Mint produced 311,067,732 dus, examples of the 1,972 with D Washington quarter, so this isn't a coin where the date alone makes every example rare. But here's the twist. Surviving coins can have dramatically different levels of preservation, and collectors pay close attention to exceptional quality, original surfaces, sharp strikes, and attractive eye appeal. Now, look at the front. George Washington faces left, based on the famous portrait by John Flanagan. Above him is Liberty. To the left of his neck is In God We Trust, while the date 1972 sits below. And right beside Washington's hair ribbon is that Denver D. The design may be familiar, but don't let familiarity make you careless. Familiar coins can still deserve a second look. Flip it over. The reverse presents the powerful American eagle with its wings extended, perched over a bundle of arrows, surrounded by United States of America and E Pluribus Unum. At the bottom is quarter dollar, with olive branches framing the eagle. This dramatic reverse design gives the coin a strong presence, even though it was made for everyday circulation. Now, feel the coin in your hand. This 1,972 with D quarter has the standard modern clad quarter specifications. Approximately 5.67 grams in weight and 24.3 millimeters in diameter, with a reeded edge and a thickness of roughly 1.75 millimeters. Its outer layers are 75% copper and 25% nickel, surrounding a copper core. That copper-nickel-clad construction was part of the major transformation in U.S. quarter production after the silver era. And that composition matters because this is not a silver Washington quarter. Don't make the mistake of assuming every old-looking quarter contains silver. The 1972 with D belongs to the clad era. But now comes the part collectors obsess over: condition. Your example is described as very fine condition. That means you want to carefully examine the remaining design detail, rather than judging the coin simply by its age. Look at Washington's hair, cheek, jawline, lettering, date, and mint mark. Then turn it over and inspect the eagle, arrows, lettering, and especially the smaller details that can reveal how much wear the coin experienced. And don't forget the edge. Those reeds should be examined for unusual damage, heavy contact, or anything that suggests the coin has been aggressively handled. A coin's surfaces can tell a story, and collectors know the difference between natural circulation and a coin that has been damaged by someone trying to improve its appearance. So listen carefully. Never clean this coin. Do not polish it. Do not scrub it. Do not use chemicals. Do not try to make it shine. Original toning matters. Original surfaces matter. A naturally aged appearance can be part of a coin's character, while harsh cleaning can leave scratches, unnatural brightness, or other permanent damage. Once that original surface is gone, you cannot simply put it back. This is why patience is golden. If you discover a 1972 with D quarter that appears unusually attractive or otherwise deserves serious attention, protect it first. Put it somewhere safe. Handle it by the edges. Keep it away from abrasive materials. And if the coin appears potentially important, professional grading is critical. A professional service can help establish authenticity and document the coin's condition in a way that serious collectors and buyers understand. Now, think about what happens when collector demand meets limited availability of truly attractive examples. The ordinary examples can sit quietly in collections as album fillers, but collectors have a much stronger interest in high-quality, original pieces. PCGS notes that collectors prefer mint-state examples and that exceptional 1972 with D quarters can command substantially more attention than ordinary circulated pieces. PCGS also records an auction result of $3,055 for an MS-68 example, showing how dramatically exceptional condition can change the market conversation. And this is where auction rooms can become intense. At first, everything can be quiet. Then one collector bids, another collector responds, a third person refuses to back down. Suddenly, everyone realizes they are competing for the same coin. That is the silent fortune phenomenon. Collectors holding desirable pieces may have no reason to sell, and when attractive examples disappear into collections, the number available to new buyers can shrink. Demand can remain strong while the supply of exceptional examples becomes increasingly difficult to find. And now, according to the market value provided for this specific coin, its current collector market value is $160,000. $160,000. That is why I am telling you again, do not spend this coin. If you find a 1972 with D Washington quarter, check the date, check the D mint mark, examine both sides, study the condition, protect the original surfaces, and never clean it. Don't let excitement make you careless, but don't let an ordinary appearance make you careless either. If the coin appears to match the characteristics you're hunting for, professional grading can be a critical next step. And remember, not every 1972 with D quarter is worth a fortune. The year and mint mark alone do not guarantee an extraordinary value. The condition, originality, specific characteristics, and collector demand of the individual coin are what matter. But that's exactly why the hunt is so exciting. Because the coin sitting unnoticed in front of you could be ordinary, or it could be the one piece that makes you stop and say, wait, what did I just find? So let's take a step back and look at all three coins we've uncovered today. We started with the 1952 with D wheat penny, a classic piece of American history carrying the unmistakable wheat reverse and a tiny Denver mint mark. Then came the 1965 Jefferson nickel, a coin from a major transition period in American coinage, where the absence of a mint mark is actually part of the historical story rather than something you should automatically mistake for a rare error. We finish with the 1972 with D Washington quarter, a modern clad quarter that can still become a serious collector conversation when exceptional preservation and the right characteristics come together. The biggest lesson is simple. Don't judge a coin by its face value. A penny can hide wealth, a nickel can hide a story, a quarter can hide an opportunity, and all three can disappear forever if someone spends them without checking. So before you empty that old coin jar, before you dump those coins into a machine, before you spend that strange-looking piece you found in an old drawers, stop and check it. Look at the year. Look for the mint mark. Study both sides. Protect the original surface. Never clean it. And if something looks genuinely special, be patient and get professional advice. Because the rare coin hunt isn't about staring at a coin for 1 second and walking away. It's about noticing the detail everyone else missed. And that is where hidden treasure begins. Thank you for watching Hidden US Coins. If you enjoyed this hunt, stay connected to the channel, because we're going deeper into America's forgotten coins, overlooked dates, mysterious mint marks, and the pieces collectors are still searching for. And here's your final warning before you go. Do not spend these coins until you know exactly what you're holding. Your next coin could already be sitting in your pocket. Your next hidden treasure could be in an old jar. Your next silent fortune could be hiding in plain sight. So check your coins tonight and come back to Hidden US Coins, because the next hunt could reveal something even more shocking. The hunt is not over. The treasure may already be in your hands.